working on a 2001 Mercedes E430. I have some shifting problems. The codes I'm getting for is implausible speed readings from the two speed sensors on the conductor plate. These are known to have the conductor plates go bad. To get a definitive diagnostic on this, I would have had to hook up a lab scope to the input feed to the computer and catch the glitch. I didn't go through all of that. I'm going on a hunch that it's the conductor plate. You know, what are the odds that it's something else? I don't see any wiring problems. So the wiring looks to be intact. To get your plug out, you need to get a pick tool or something where you can get around this piece of plastic and lift that down, pull that down to you. That disconnects the electric plug. Then that'll come out. You're gonna have to move the O2 sensor wire out of the way and use a T30 to loosen the bolt that's on the corner. It's the same size as all the transmission bolts. Those are a T30 Torx. Okay? Now this plug does not easily come out of here. It's hard for me to get a good camera angle and see what the hell I'm doing down here, guys. Please forgive me for the camera shots. It's not the easiest area to work in. Get it down all the way, it appears. There it is. Got it down all the way. Now the plug comes out. I recently did the conductor plate on this, but I'm thinking I got a defective one. I did it about 1.5 years ago because I had other transmission problems and it was the conductor plate. I'm thinking this one failed again. I wish they would have gave me a little more room to work in here with this plug. I have to get that plug out of the way because I believe it's an 8mm bolt in there or nut that I have to loosen. If I can get this wire up around here, maybe it went the other way. Try it that direction. There we go. Got that out of the way. My wires were a little twisted there. If you're doing this job, I recommend replacing the adapter on here because these are also known to fail. The O-rings leak and the oil can actually wick its way up to your computer and take the transmission control module out. So it's about a $4 part depending on where you buy it. I gotta not mess up my pins in here. Be careful because you got the pins in there. Don't go crazy with sticking your socket in there like a maniac. I'm going to do this off of the ratchet by hand and see if I can find that little bolt in the center. I believe I'm on it now. I thought it was an 8mm, maybe it's a 7mm. Yeah, it might be a 7mm. Let me try a 7mm in here. It is a small bolt. Bolt, it's not an 8, excuse me. Been a while since I did this. I forgot the size. Even though I did replace this a year ago, I think I'm going to put a new adapter plug in here. Make sure you clean up the plug well on the transmission plug coming from the computer. Any debris on that will cause a leak as well. Very awkward position to work in. Here we are. I'm not a lefty. I think I got that out. Yes, we did. There goes our adapter plug. Make sure both O-rings come out on that. There's 2 O-rings on that adapter plug. An inner and outer O-ring. Make sure both of them come out. Get screwed up easy if you leave one of those O-rings in there. You're definitely going to have a crazy leak. See the little holes for the pins that come out on the computer. I guess when you crank this out, it lifts it out enough that those plugs go in and you're not going to mutilate them when you loosen that bolt. That's what I'm assuming how it works, because I didn't feel the pins in there when I was looking for the little bolt. There goes the 7mm bolt. That stays in, it doesn't come out. Gonna have a new bolt in your new adapter plug. To drain your fluid, you're gonna need a 6mm, or no, it's a 5mm. I'm sorry, 5mm Allen to drain your pan. Drain that before you disconnect that for the adapter plug. You may have fluid come out. I actually pumped my transmission out last night and then let the pan drain for a while this morning, but I'm on an angle, so I'm still going to have fluid in the pan. You're always going to have some fluid left in the pan, so be careful of that when you drop it. You don't want to get a shower. Lift your pan down kind of level. You're going to have to dump that out and clean that. Brake parts cleaner is terrific for cleaning out the oil in a transmission pan. Make sure you clean your magnet and replace that. Don't forget to put the magnet back in the pan when you reinstall it either. Alright? It's lousy shots under here, so I'm going to explain some of this stuff instead of trying to just film it alone. I will leave the camera on when I do it, but this is not like many other cars where bolts directly hold the oil pan in. These Torx bolts actually go on little blocks with fingers on them that hold the pan up. So you're going to have to take note the positioning of the corner little blocks. Make sure you put the bolts back in the position that you got them out of. I'm not sure because like I said, it's been a while, but the one corner that goes on the side where the cover is, the protective cover you're going to have to remove to get the adapter plug out, that may be slightly different. I'm not sure if all the corners are exactly the same, but It's just something to just be aware of while you're disassembling them and dropping that pan, okay? Another thing you're going to want to do if you're changing your conductor plate, you can Google 722.6 transmission shift solenoids, ohm readings, and you'll find a image. There's a couple of PDFs, I think there's like 3 of them on Google Images, that will show you the location and the specified ohm reading, the allowable ohm reading for the solenoids. When you have your conductor, when you have your valve body down and a conductor plate out, I would recommend taking an ohms reading of all the solenoids, because if they're out of range, this would be the time to replace them. You can buy these solenoids actually at a reasonable price online. You don't have to go to the dealership. You can get them off of eBay or a lot of these other parts stores, Pelican Parts and EF's Euro Parts, and there's a whole bunch of companies, but I think you can do better price-wise getting them from there, okay? Something else to consider while you're doing this job. Corner one is different. It has another screw hole in it for the protecting shield of the plug. Make sure you don't mix that one up. That goes on the upper right-hand side. The other 3 corners are the same. I'm taking all the corners out first. Then I'll take the middle out. I'm still going to have fluid in this pan. I don't want to make a big mess. Make sure you get your torque strip in there. You don't want to strip these out. Sometimes they get dirt in them. You could clean them out with a small pick tool first, or tap in the torque strip when you start. One seems to be holding it in all right. Hope you guys can see something. Get my pan over here to dump this. Or maybe I'll just lift it out. I'm just going to get out of the way and try to lift it down here. I'm going to leave that down there to catch some of that oil from the filter. I'm on top of my damn tool. Trying to work my hand out from underneath that without making a mess. I hope that worked. I'll see when I backed up. No, I spilt oil all over the place, damn it. All over my light and everything. I made a big mess. That's what I usually do, make a big mess. Transmission fluid everywhere, man. Should have drained the car when it was level, but I didn't have it level. So that option wasn't there. Clean my light off before that breaks. Time to go get the kitty litter, huh? Hard to do without making a little bit of a mess. Let me go get kitty litter in a container. Oil filter, it just pulls out More fluid is going to come out when you remove the filter, so be prepared for that. I'm just going to leave this drip for a while, guys. There's going to be more that's going to come out when I drop that valve body too. It just keeps coming. It just keeps coming. This is a fairly new filter. I'm going to put a new one in there again anyway. Just want to see how dirty that looks. Doesn't look that bad, but out with the old, in with the new. Get the pan out of there. All right, I'm gonna let that drip for a while, then I'll start removing the valve body. I'm trying to film removal of the valve body. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bolts. These 2 bolts don't need to come out on this spring on this shift. You got to pay attention. There's a plastic shift linkage there. You got to make sure you line that up properly when you put that back on. I am not going to loosen these with the power tool. I'm going to do them by hand first because I don't want to pull any threads out on here. It's going into soft material aluminum. So I'm going to be careful loosening these gently by hand till they're finger tight. I hope these are all the same length. I could use a third hand under here with this. Leave that one center one in there. The conductor plate is up on top of this valve body. I'll show you that when I get it up on the bench. I will give you the torque spec for this too after I get them all out. These are shallow. Don't strip these out. Make sure you got your tool in there. There we go. Let me put this drain pan back under here for a few minutes. told you more was going to come out when I loosen the valve body. That's it. It's dripping a lot. I'm trying to catch that. I'm going to leave that drain for a few minutes, guys. Okay, it was 10 pan bolts, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. They're all the same length, so you don't have to worry about the positioning of where the, not the pan bolts, the valve body bolts. They're all the same length, so it doesn't matter where you put them, which is a good thing. I like that. That makes it easier. Now this just snaps off of here. You're going to have to take these covers off. I got to get the oil out of this. I got to dump the oil out of this. Valve body's still full of oil. So I'm going to turn that upside down over my pan. Drain that out. All that oil come out of there. And one of my covers went right into the oil. Nice. That's a solenoid cover. That just lifts right off. Kind of pops off. Don't mix those solenoids up. Those are T30s as well. These I did not have a torque spec on. I thought they may have been the same as the valve body, but to me it felt like that would have been excessive and stripped it out, so I just snugged them up by hand and used a little common sense and feel there. So that's the way I'm going to go with reassembling this again. I want to make sure I don't have any debris on this rag, because I'm going to be wiping the top of this valve body off. Actually, I'm going to get one of those lint-free blue towels. I want to get this crud off of here. See that little bit of residue? I want to wipe that off. I'm shot, guys. I don't remember whether I turned the camera on or off. Just clean these edges up nice. You don't want any debris or dirt on them, on that mating surface when you put that back in. What I'll do is I'm going to have to slide this under the car on my mat, so I'm probably going to get some kind of crud on the bottom of the valve body housing, so I'll just slide it down, lift it up, get it in there, and then spray it with brake clean and get any debris that may happen to be on the bottom of that off. Just going to lay this over here, stop my run, my oil run. I'll put my solenoids on there. I'm gonna go get my ratchet. Here's the valve body out of the car. Trying to film with this stable camera, so I know sometimes it gives you guys dizzy. Says it's saving. what the hell it's doing. This camera's been glitching out on me sometimes. I found out that they're selling bogus SD cards, and that could be the culprit with some camera issues. So I think I'm going to buy a SanDisk disc right from the store, because it seems that some of these coming from eBay are counterfeit, and that's not too cool. I'm just cracking these free by hand. Then I'll run them out. I'm going to go in and get my conductor plate and get that ready just for ease of installation. My tool is covered in transmission oil. All right, let me go get that other conductor plate. Okay guys, I'm getting ready to start disassembling the conductor plate. I wanted to give you this image. This is an image of the valve body and the solenoids that go into it. They actually have the conductor plate off of here, but they're just showing you the solenoids. So I'll go from top left to right. The modulating pressure control solenoid is 4 to 8 ohms. Shift pressure control solenoid is 4 to 8 ohms. Shift solenoid 1, 2, 4, and 5 is 2.5 to 6.5 ohms. The 3 to 4 shift solenoid is 2.5 to 6.5 ohms. This is the torque converter solenoid is 2 to 4 ohms. And then the 2 to 3 shift solenoid is 2.5 to 6.5 ohms. So you're going to want to test these. It'd be crazy to take your transmission apart and put it back together with solenoids that are on their way out. Wouldn't make much sense. Now I tested these solenoids about a year and a half ago, but I'm doing this job. I may as well double check and check them again, right? Can't hurt. I'm going through the effort of removing this, so I may as well do the check. There's very long screws in here. I'm not going to mix these brackets up either. Now I get a damn phone call. Hello?
Hey, I'm making a hamburger on the grill, and I got enough hamburger left for a little small hamburger. Would you want it if I can make it?
Sure, why not?
It's just going to be a small one, because, you know, I had too much for one hamburger.
Yeah, that's fine.
For two. I'll bring it over when it's done. I'll put it on a couple slices of bread, and you can put what you want on it.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
All right,
see you.
bye. Larry's making me a hamburger, a little one. What are you doing hiding over there, Mimi?
I'm sick.
You're sick? You're sick?
Yeah, I'm sick.
These cannot be mixed up. Some of these are interchangeable, like this and this one, but these two are not interchangeable, and these two are not interchangeable with these, and vice versa. So I'm going to just test these now. Let me pull them all out, just as long as I don't knock my table over. Mimi. Mimi is cheering me on. She stayed home from work today, Wendy, to give me moral support.
And because I'm sick.
And she's sick. You are sick. I know you are. But she came out to give me moral support, even though she's sick. Because she's special. I'm very lucky to have a crazy lady like her in my life. She is very crazy. You are a little crazy, you know.
Just a little.
Just a little bit. Alright, let me test these and get this out of the way. Set your digital voltmeter on ohms. Touch your leads, make sure you read 0. I'm getting 0.2 on here. It's a little off. Alright, I'm going to do the TCC solenoid first, which should be 2 to 4 ohms. Oh, I think I hit hold by mistake. Nope. Why is this glitching out on me? .6, so that's in good shape. Now I'm going to do the 2 to 3 solenoid. That should be 2.5 to 6.5 ohms. 4.3 ohms. That's good. Now I'm going to do the modulating pressure control solenoid. That should be 4 to 8 ohms. 5.1, 5 ohms. The shift pressure control solenoid, 4 to 8 ohms. 4.8 ohms. That's good. 1, 2, 4, and 5 shift solenoid, 2.5 to 6.5. 5.1, that's good. And last one, my 3 to 4 shift solenoid, 2.5 to 6.5. Getting 5.1 ohms. 4.4, 4 ohms. That's good. That's within range. Okay, all the solenoids checked out within acceptable range. Just wanted to get that out of the way. Now you just have to kind of snap your conductor plate off and install a new one. I'm going to put my gauge away. Okay, I'm removing the conductor plate. Kind of lift on it, it'll just snap right out. Comes right off. I'm going to actually hold on to this just in case my transmission has another issue. I'm not going to throw that conductor plate out. It's only a year old. I'm thinking this is the issue, but if it's not, I'm not going to throw it out. I'll hold on to that and throw it in my other car. That is my new adapter, right? Yes. I don't want to mix the old one up with the new one. Oh, that snapped off. That conductor plate is garbage, and I hope I can get this out of my valve body. That little pin snapped off in my valve body. That really sucks. Let me go get a pick tool. Okay, I put the new conductor plate in place. I got that out with a pick tool. All my contacts appear clean. Let me make sure the O-rings are on them. No O-rings on that. Okay. This one does have O-rings. They're there. If you clean off your solenoids, make sure you re-lubricate the O-rings. Like I said, I couldn't find a torque spec for this, so I'm doing this by hand. Don't start your thread with a power tool. Good way to strip it out. Start it by hand. I don't even know if I'm going to run this in with a power tool. I think I'm going to do it by hand. Yeah, I may run them in a little bit. Not going to go crazy with it though. Let me go get a hamburger. Time for lunch. Thank you. I'll throw a slice of cheese and ketchup on it.
That's all I put is ketchup.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
I just took it off the grill. Still hot.
I just got done testing all the solenoids. They're all good.
Laura gave me the hamburger. There wasn't enough for two big ones, but not enough for too much for one.
Thank you, Larry. Okay, I put the new conductor plate in place. I got that out with a pick tool. All my contacts appear clean. Let me make sure the O-rings are on them. No O-rings on that. Okay. This one does have O-rings. They're there. If you clean off your solenoids, make sure you re-lubricate the O-rings. Like I said, I couldn't find a torque spec for this, so I'm doing this by hand. Don't start your thread with a power tool. Good way to strip it out. Start it by hand. I don't even know if I'm going to run this in with a power tool. I think I'm going to do it by hand. Yeah, I may run them in a little bit. Not going to go crazy with it though. Let me go get a hamburger. Time for lunch. Thank you. I'll throw a slice of cheese and ketchup on it.
That's all I put is ketchup.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
I just took it off the grill. Still hot.
I just got done testing all the solenoids. They're all good.
Laura gave me the hamburger. There wasn't enough for two big ones, but not enough for too much for one.
Thank you, Larry. Okay guys, I forgot to tell you, the transmission drain bolt is torque spec to 15 pounds or 180 inch-pounds. Alright, I just wanted to tell you that. Everything's wrapped up here. I got the valve body torqued in. I put the adapter and plug back, and I torqued up the transmission pan. Now I just need to do the transmission drain bolt, and then it's time to fill this up and see how it works out. Hopefully it worked. Wish me luck.